What is up, guys? In today's video I'm going to be talking about the SP404 Mark II, and I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I think this has become a sampling beast. Thanks for joining me again if you're a subscriber. If you're not, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to get multiple drops a week about lo-fi gear, lo-fi beat making, SP samplers and more. And leave a comment below as well if you've ordered an SP404 Mark II. Have you got yours yet? I know there's a lot of delays with these devices at the moment because of supply chain issues, but it'd be great to hear if you guys are getting hold of yours. I know a lot of people seem to be picking them up on Instagram now, so yeah, leave a comment below. Have you got this machine yet? And yeah, I hope my videos are helping you out. Okay, so let's get into this video. 5 reasons why I think this has become a beast for sampling. Reason number 1 is the new chop feature which comes on the SP404 Mark II. Now this is completely new. We've never seen anything like this before on an SP device. We had to mess around copying samples and finding their start points manually. So this is a revelation to have a chop feature, and it's so easy to use as well. So I've got a sample here. And all I have to do is go shift and start and end, and you can see underneath it says chop. We press that, and it's really easy to go along. All you have to do is press a pad to set a mark point, and as the sample is playing along, you can add more chops by pressing the pads. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I can't do this live, unfortunately, because of copyright issues, so I'll go ahead and add some chops into this sample, and then I can show you some of the other little features about this as well, which make it really useful. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got my chop points, and these chop points correspond to the pads here, so you can see. And if I press these buttons, I can do a preview of the chop. And also, you can zoom in and out and check where that mark point is, and you can adjust that accordingly if you've missed the start point. If you want to change it, you can see there my mark point is moving around, and it's really, really easy to drill into that start point. Then all you have to do is click menu, which is the value wheel here, scroll down, assign to pad, and it lets you choose which pads you want to assign those chops to. This feature is a real revelation to SP users. Like I mentioned, we've never had anything like this before, and it just makes making beats so much easier. So yeah, really, really like that feature on the Mark II. Okay, the next feature, and this is kind of 2 things tied in, and they also tie into the previous one as well. One of the things that you may have struggled with if you've used an SP device before is that you get a crackle at the start of a sample. Now, there is an actual scientific reason why that is happening, and it's because you haven't chopped at exactly the right point. Now, you can meticulously go in, use the start and end point, and try and find that 0 cross point, it's called, where there's going to be no click, but it's very, very time consuming. But fortunately, with this device, you have a 2-pronged approach to be able to eliminate these noises. The first thing they've done is introduced a thing called 0 cross point. So if I go into this sample and press start and end, you can see here that the line in the middle, where that crosses the line, that's the 0 cross point. And if you chop at exactly that point, you're not going to get a click. Now, what if your sample was slightly out? Say it was here. Do you really want to zoom in and have to find that point yourself? Luckily, you don't have to now because of this 0 cross point feature. And as you can see, the resample button is flashing, and that's indicating that it's available to use on this particular sample. And if I press that, you should hopefully see this jump to a place where it is exactly on the line. The waveform is exactly on the line. So let's have a look if it works. And there you go, it jumped to the exact point again. So that is a really, really useful feature. And honestly, I would say I have about 90% success with this. So 90% of the time, I press that button and it will eliminate the click completely. If that doesn't work, luckily we've got another feature which can help, and that is envelopes. So envelopes are really useful for beat making. They can get rid of these crackles, and also what they can do is make space for a kick to cut through the mix. And essentially what it's doing is adding a fade to the start of the sample. You can also add a fade to the end of the sample as well, which has come in handy for me a couple of times. And yeah, having that space so that the sample doesn't quite hit directly on the beat. So if the beat's here, you've got the fade. You're going to give the kick a little bit of space there, and then the sample's going to fade in nicely. It's just quite a good way of mimicking sidechain compression, which unfortunately is one of the features this doesn't have. So if we go to shift and envelope, you can see here you can change the attack. Really, really simple stuff. And also you can change the release as well. So if we put some attack on this one, I can show you what that sounds like. Obviously that's an extreme example, but usually you'd only need to put about between 0 and 5 attack on a sample, depending on how long it is. And that will eliminate any clicks as well if the 0 crosspoint feature wasn't working for you. And also just adds that nice little fade to give you space for the kicks in your mix as well. So 2 really good features there that help beat making a lot. Now another reason this has become a sampling beast, and this isn't something that's particularly new to this device, but it's the amazing range of effects that you get. So I think that's one of the things that makes the SP series so unique, is the amazing amount of effects that we get access to. And we've already seen from the 2.0 update that they're throwing in new ones as well. So it's a really exciting prospect to see that new effects could be coming to this machine. Hopefully they add subsonic back in, that would be amazing. And again, sidechain would be a really nice feature as well. I'm not going to go through all the effects, there's another video I've done for that. But what I can tell you about this is that the buses as well now just open up the use of effects so much that when you're making a beat or you're sampling a beat, those samples are going to be able to have such good treatment on them. So you can assign 2 different buses to different pads at the same time. So you can have like bus 1 and bus 2, which is like A and B. And you can have one effect on A, one effect on B. You can see here, they're both bypassed at the moment, but I could put any effect on 1 and assign that to the pads that I want. Any effect on 2 and assign that to the pads I want as well. And then also you have a complete other area, which is bus 3 and 4, which does overall effects on the device as well. So you can see here I've got vinyl, sim compression from the 303, and isolator. They're kind of like master effects. So you've got your bus 1 and 2, which you can have on the pads that you want, or you can actually stack those as well if you wanted to. And then you've got 3 and 4, which run over the top of everything as well. So they're going to really, really help you if you're a sampler, because you can add all sorts of effects on your samples now and get them sounding really nice and exactly how you want them to. Okay, another reason why this has become a sampling powerhouse is the USB connection on the back. Now this has come in so handy for me already, especially now I'm using this to record this video, and also for sampling as well. So a lot of you now will sample digitally, it's just the way that things are now. We've still got the purists out there who like to sample from vinyl, and I like to do that as much as I can, but it's a very expensive habit buying vinyl, and storing it can also be an issue, especially if you live somewhere that's not that big, exactly like where I am right now. So digital sampling is a really good alternative, and because of this USB connection, it's just so easy to sample now from your computer. So you can literally pull up your favorite music streaming platform, say Spotify, Apple Music, and all you have to do on your computer is set that the sound goes to this device, and then you just hit external source and you're sampling through USB. It's so good. And the great thing about this as well is that you can go back into your computer with the USB as well and record your beats onto your computer as well. So the USB is a real come up for samplers, especially those of you that enjoy doing digital sampling the most from YouTube, Spotify, etc. It's just so easy to do now on this device. Previously you had to buy a whole audio interface and get cables to go to the SX and the earlier models. Now you just stick in a USB cable into your computer and you're good to go. It's absolutely amazing. Okay, the last thing that I wanted to point out is the screen. Now this screen has come in so handy for me. This idea had been floating around the community for ages that this screen could be further utilized because it doesn't really show you that much on the previous models. On the 404 Mark II, it's just so useful. So we've got this sample on pad 2 like I've already shown you. You can go to start end. Say that you want to trim this, you can zoom all the way in to 11 times, and look how close you can get in on the waveform. So you can see exactly where you need to chop. You can see chords in progressions. You can see so much on this screen, and just having that available, especially for seeing the waveforms, I think is really handy. For samplers out there, say you've got dead space at the start of your sample, it's so easy to see it when you just zoom in like this. You can chop it immediately using these dials. It's just really handy having that waveform viewable. Obviously you can do other things with the screen as well, you can look at effects, etc. But I think the real come up is being able to see the waveform on the screen, zoom right in and do all sorts of processing which you want to be able to do with your samples. So that's it for this one, guys. I just wanted to show you those 5 things, especially if you are thinking of buying one of these. I think this video will be particularly useful. If you're an avid sampler, I think you're going to love the features that you can do on the SP404 Mark II now. I've been loving this device ever since I got it. It's just so fast the workflow. It's so easy to use, especially since the 2.0 update. And yeah, at the price point that it's at the moment, I know they're really hard to get hold of at the moment, but when they're readily available, this is just such a good purchase for the price, I think. So I hope you like this content. If there's anything you think I've missed for samplers, what are good features about this device that samplers would love, leave a comment below and let the community know. That would be really helpful. As usual, don't forget to go to spvids.com to support support what I do here, guys. I really do rely on the community to keep this channel going. It is my income, so check out my lo-fi drum packs that I've got on there and other bits and bobs as well. There's loads of ways you can support this channel. Have a look at all the things below. It really does help out, guys, and keep me going doing this, so it would be appreciated if you could check that out. But apart from that, guys, keep making beats. I will be back with more content very soon. Peace!